Hey, welcome back to another video. Today I'm gonna just keep it strictly training, not gonna put a video or anything. So what we're gonna do today is just gonna do some research into niches and niches, markets, right? Different demographic segments that we can target with t-shirts and how I like to do research. So now this is gonna be a lot of testing. In order to do testing, we need slots. So if you're in tier 10 or 25, this is not so much a good strategy for you, but rather I recommend firstly, you tier up. So just YouTube tier up merch and watch each one of these videos and you'll get a good idea of how to tier up, right? This one's mine, but I think all of these are great. The next thing you could also do in tandem with tiering up is catching trends on merch, right? So then watch all these videos. Okay, there's so much content out there. This, don't worry, there's enough. So now the next thing we're gonna do, if you're tier 100 up, we're gonna go to this thing called niche hacks. And so niche hacks, we're just gonna go here, click profitable niches, and then we'll do. And honestly, you can dig into here and click anything you want, right? 45 weird niche ideas. We're just gonna click this big old list of niches because we want to see a lot of data, right? So now, first thing we do, we just scroll down. I would sort it by market, and I skip the health and fitness stuff. Though within health and fitness, there's a ton of ideas. For example, diet shirts. I sell a lot of diet shirts as well. As you know, the keto diet's pretty big. Intermittent fasting is on the rise. All these there's a lot of passion around these markets, so I would totally sell that. The cabbage diet. Also, just make sure that these terms are not trademarked because I think the term paleo diet is, and so I wouldn't do that. Remember, so just always check. I think no, I think it was CrossFit. CrossFit is trademarked, so just always check. All right, so I'm gonna scroll down, go past health and fitness, even though there's a lot of great stuff here: nutrition, raw diet, sign language. That's huge. I'm not sure why that's under health and fitness. Oh, mental health. Keep going, keep going. Okay, now this is where I'm interested in. It's the hobbies and interest thing, right? So now if you have the slots to play with, these are basically going to give you great ideas of different markets that you can design for. And we have a lot of ideas. Check this out. Boo, 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 boo. And you just keep going, right? So if we go back to the beginning, just for instance, how we want to think about it, we're starting with 3D printing. So 3D printing is on the rise and it's really big these days. And it's only going to get bigger and bigger. And of course, around that, there's so many people whose hobbies involves these kind of tech printing things, or whose jobs involve building machines that contribute to 3D printing, or writing the software or code that runs these 3D printers. There's like different levels of interest around this topic. So I would either make the T-shirt here for people who love 3D printing in general. Like I would make my life out of a 3D printer, for example, or people whose jobs actually revolve around this thing, whether they're actually involved in the tech and building the machines, or writing the code and the software, things like that, right? So whenever you think of a hobby interest, I always also just like to go on Amazon.com and just see how many are selling there. So we go 3D printing shirt. Orca, it's funny. And I know this line is right there. It basically says 140 results that are visible, right? Because there always seem to be hiding stuff from us. So in general, these are all kind of like in the million BSR. Not amazing. This is great. 300,000. And this is more for just generally computer programming operators, but good price, well priced. I'm not sure what this G28 thing, so I'm going to just look that up real quick. G28 programmer. G28. Okay, what is CNC? All right, CNC. All right, what is CNC? CNC concepts. Okay, computer numerical controlled manufacturing. So my guess is that this is writing software for manufacturing plants. What was it called? Numerical control. Yeah, exactly. So these are basically the people who write the controls for machines, right? So that's what I was saying about back here. If you remember, it was like there's going to be people who actually write the code and the software. And if you go here, look how specific this is, like machinist G28 computer programmer here as well, G28 computer programmer. See how specific this is? So this sold within the week, this sold within a few days. This is generally 3D printing, so that's cool. It's a great way to find cool ideas, right? So now we know that that's a pretty big niche. Not big, but that is a selling market that would buy stuff. Okay, so G28 CNC. So I'm gonna write G28 CNC shirt. Just see what comes up. So we got 8 results. Okay, out of those 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 have sold, right? Because they all have a BSR. Out of those 5, 2 have sold recently. Ish. So this is in the past week, this is in the past few days. So the way I look at it is this is an untapped market. It only has 8 results. I can quickly put up 10 shirts for different cool ideas, right? Obviously try to be unique, maybe dig into the niche, get some ideas. And all of a sudden I will have a huge chunk of this pie, right? Of such a very specific niche. And it only took me about 5 minutes to find this, right? So now if you can reiterate this process across a lot of these concepts, right? It can go really well. Like alternative energy, we could dig into that. Amish, all things Amish. The point is, we can dig into this, and then once we get into a specific idea, we can go even further and go down the rabbit hole of finding interesting, an infinite amount of niches out there. So hopefully that was pretty cool, and that's how I can find so many niches that are untapped. And I already found a few today that I'm going to put shirts up in. And there's just so many. Like we have to have a sense of abundance about it. That don't think there's not enough niches out there. Like just go through here, and then let's say you look into exotic pets, right? And you type in exotic pets, and then you go in deeper and you click into like all of these, right? I'm not sure about that. That's good. And then here you click into beautiful bird t-shirts and see if they have other birds. If they do, see which ones are selling. All right, 400. None of these others are selling as such, even though it's a great idea. Go to the next thing, Koenig Designs. So what I would just go Koenig Designs shirt. Let's do this. It always does that. We have some cool merch shirts here. See if any are selling pretty well. If there's, because all these are in the millions, right? So it means they're just stalling. They haven't sold recently. So this has sold within a week, 9-10 days. Carpe Noctem. So I would actually just look that up. Carpe Noctem shirt. And of course, make sure you are good to go here. Search it up. So even though it says dead, I'm always a bit wary if anything pops up here. So I'll do this one with a grain of salt. So anyway, you can see how we can go down the rabbit hole of niches, markets, and get some great ideas. Hopefully this will help you in your hunt for some gold niches. All right, thanks so much for watching. Shoot me any questions. Talk soon.